Hello everyone, welcome to Jolly Molly TV. Today we're going to do another fun block in this adorable project called Christmas Express Train Scene by Embroidery Library. And in today's video we're going to work on block number 5, which is this one right down here, which is going to give us the front of the train and the candy cane. This is going to be adorable. Can't wait to stitch this one out. So let's go ahead and gather all our supplies, our fabric, and our batting. Let's head over to the machine and let's get started stitching. Okay, I'm at the machine. I have a bobbin with black bobbin thread down below. I have black thread on the top of my machine. I have my hoop, which I'm using an 8-inch because I'm using the almost 8-inch designs, on my machine filled with a piece of the poly no-show mesh stabilizer. So we are ready to go there. Let's go to the screen cam and load the design. I have a Baby Lock Destiny. In case you have something similar or a Brother Dream machine, you can follow along. I keep everything on a flash drive in a folder called Christmas Express Train Scene. There we go. All right, today we're working on block 5, which is this one right here, labeled ESP 83744-1. It's the front of the train. This is going to be fun. Okay, it's just under 8-inch. That's my right size for the project I'm working on. It's 33,238 stitches and about 61 minutes of just pure stitch time. All right. Going to click set. I don't need to do anything here. I'm going to click embroidery. Now I need to add a basting stitch to help hold the batting and the fabric down. So I'm going to click edit. And there's a little flower button right here. I'm going to click on that. And it's magically added a basting stitch line all the way around the outside of the block. Click edit again. And you can see it right here. That is the first thing we're going to stitch. This is going to help give us a placement line for the batting, help us tack down the batting, and then help us tack down the fabric. So we're going to stitch this a total of 3 times. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to the hoop cam. If you're not able to add a basting stitch on your machine, go ahead and take the hoop off the machine, put your batting down, put your fabric down on top of that, and go to your sewing machine and just add a basting stitch line around the outside edge. If you're not able to do it too close to the hoop, go ahead and put the batting down and the fabric down and then put some pins in it. Take this stabilizer out of the hoop and then secure your batting and your fabric with your basting stitch line around the outside edge and then rehoop it. All right. It's really important to have that basting stitch line because it holds the batting and the fabric in place while you're doing the stitching and will help prevent puckering and shifting. All right, let's go ahead and put the foot down and stitch out the first basting stitch, which will give us the placement for the batting. Okay, now I'm going to put my batting down, center it, make sure you've covered all of that basting stitch line. And let's go back to the screen cam and we're going to do that stitch again. So I'm going to go plus and minus and I'm going to go back 1 stitch. Just like that. And we're going to stitch that basting stitch 1 more time. Here we go. So we're ready. Let's put the foot down and let's tack down the batting. Okay, so now I want you to take the hoop very gently off the machine. I want you to take this over to the table and I want you to trim away all of this excess batting from around all 4 sides and use a pair of curved applique scissors because that way it curves up and it helps you prevent from poking into the stabilizer while you trim. Just trim as close to the basting stitch as you can without nicking it, all right? And when that's done, I'll meet you right back here. Okay, I've got that all trimmed up. let's go back to the screen cam, and I want to stitch that basting stitch one more time. So I'm going to go back one stitch. There we are. It's brought us back to that basting stitch. So now I can grab my fabric. Here we go. And I'm going to place my fabric down. This fabric I have fused with Paylon 860 to help support the cotton stitches. And I'm going to center this block just by feeling for the edge of the batting. There we go. That looks good. And that looks good. So now put the foot down. Still have black thread up on top. And let's tack down the fabric. Okay, and now I'm just going to get the majority of the fuzz off, off the block. Take this off the machine for a second, just because I don't want all that to stitch into the block. All right. So now we go to the screen cam, you can see it's automatically advanced to that first stitch. So we're done. We don't have to do anything else. Click OK, and we can start stitching. Okay, so the first color, step 1, is going to be your blue ink. And just a reminder, the color chart goes left to right. So this one is number 1, blue ink. This one's number 2, blue jay. 3 is twister, 4 is barn red, etc. So reminder, the chart goes left to right. Okay, so the first color thread we're going to put up in the top of our machine is going to be blue ink. All right, and this is going to work on the ground areas, which will actually be on the top of the block here and one little part on the bottom. It's going to be the ground color for this part of the block. All right, this is going to be fun. So this is a 2-minute stitch out. Make sure you always get your loops out so you don't damage your needle, your foot, or your machine. All right, let's start stitching this out. Here we go. Okay, step number 2 is going to be blue jay, and that's going to do some highlights on these top 2 ground areas here. So go ahead and put your blue jay thread up in the top of your machine. Yeah, thread it here. Here we go. And this is only a 1-minute stitch out. This is real quick. Make sure you don't have a loop, and let's go. All right, I've got a little straggler blue thread here. I want to try to get up. It actually was under the stitching there a little bit, but I think I can still pull it out and trim it out. There we go. Okay, so that's good. So now we're going to go for twister, step 3. And this is going to be the body of the train. So this is going to be a little bit, this is a 10-minute and real-time stitch out. And it's going to do basically the main front of the body of the train. Or the main front of the train. All right. So let's thread the needle, make sure you don't have a loop, and let's sit back, relax, and enjoy as it's stitched out. It's step 3. Here we go. Okay, it stopped stitching, so I'm going to go ahead and cut my thread anyway. But when it started this section, it didn't pick up and start making stitches. See, it just started poking holes. So that means it didn't pick up the bobbin thread correctly. So I'm just going to trim off the little stitch that it did. There we go. Pull that right out. I'm going to go below and I'm going to rethread my bobbin, because that usually means that it didn't pick up. I've only got a little bit left, but I think I might have enough to get through this train, so we'll keep using it here. There we go. Now let's put the hoop gently back on the machine. And then I'm going to go back a few stitches. I'm going to go plus and minus, and I'm going to go back 10 and keep going back 10s until it jumps back to this other section that it already stitched, and then go forward. There we are. So I'm right at the point where it's going to start stitching right there. Okay. So it finished this circle and it jumped over, and that's where I am back to right now. All right, so let's put the foot down and let's see if this will pick up the stitches. Yep, we're back in business. All right. All right, it's coming together. All right, so now we're on step 4, which is going to be the barn red, which in my case is my Christmas red. That matches the top of the train that we did in the last block. So I'm going to put my Christmas red thread in the top of your machine. You do the same. for what you have chosen for your barn red thread. And we're going to stitch out an accent on the train. And it's going to be a 2-minute stitch out. And we don't have any loops. We're good to go. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm going to check my bobbin because the next stitch out is going to be root beer, but it's a 10-minute stitch out. So yeah, I'm really down at the bottom. I'm going to let that go and put a new one in. When it's only that much left, it's not worth fighting or struggling with what it's going to do and then have to replace it and move stitches and everything. So when it's that low, I'm just going to put a new one in so we don't have to worry about running out in the middle of this next stitch, which is root beer number 5. It's going to do the train and some track detail, it says. So let's put our root beer thread up on the top of our machine. And this is going to be another lengthy stitch out. This is a 10-minute in real-time stitch out. But this will be fun to watch come to life here. Make sure you get your loops out and let's do it. You got this. That's kind of cool. It looks like a face. You see the 2 eyeballs, the nose, and the smile. Look at that. Or a beard. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Of course, it'll disappear when we get into the rest of the train, but right now it looks like a face. Very cool. All right, we're on step 6, which is polished pewter. And that's going to be highlights on the train. So go ahead and put your polished pewter thread up on top. And we're going to stitch this out. This is only a 3-minute stitch out. All right. Here we go. Oh, we got a loop. Let's get that out. Okay, let's do this. Okay, coming along. All right, so now we're on step 7, which is old gold, which I have on a thread stand on the back of my machine. There we go. So you put your old gold thread in the top of your machine, and we're going to stitch this out. This looks like it's 4 minutes, and it's going to be lights and highlights. That's what it's saying. So there we go. We got a loop. And let's do this. You ready? Let's go. Okay, I can see that it is starting to get a little fuzz action here. So I'm going to put the foot up. You can see this right here. Starting to do that little trick again. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out. Pull that down. And then I'm going to re-thread my old gold thread, because it was getting some of that friction pull where it was shredding the thread. The stitches up here are fine because it was just starting to do it. So let's get the loop out. And now we can start fresh right where we started right here. We don't have to back up at all because it finished that fine and it was just starting here. So let's continue the stitch out. All right, looking good. Let's get this out. Now we're on step 8, which is light emerald green. It's going to do some holly leaves and some train tree. It's going to do some little trees on the train up here. So go ahead and put your light emerald green thread in the top of your machine. And this is a 4-minute stitch out. All right, you got this. We're almost done. We have 4 color changes left. All right, no loops on my thread. Ready? Let's do this. Looking good. All right, so we're on step 9, which is chrome. It's going to be some ground highlights and the candy cane. So go ahead and put your chrome or your light silver thread in the top of your machine. And this is only a 1-minute stitch out. This is really easy. All right, we got this. You can do it. You got 3 color changes left. This one and 2 more. Get that loop out. All right, let's do it. That was fairly easy. Now we're on step 10, which is your cinnamon candy, which is going to be the candy cane stripes and the berries for the holly. All right, this is a 2-minute stitch out. So put your cinnamon candy thread up in the top of your machine, and you can do this. All right, 1 thread at a time. Oh, we got a loop, and that one requires me to get my stylus to get out. There we go. Ready? Let's do it. All right, so now we're on the last step, step 11, which is going to be your super white, which is literally going to bring this entire block to life. So put your super white thread on the top of your machine and then sit back and relax and enjoy this 23-minute in real time stitch out. But it literally brings this block to life. Every aspect of it is just amazing. So you ready? Let's turn this block into a train block. Let's do it. All right, another amazing block. There we go. Look at that. You did it. Congratulations. I really, really love this project. That last white stitch out gets me every single block. I think it's amazing. Okay, you did it. All right, so I want you to take the hoop off the machine, take the block out of the hoop and just set it aside. We're going to stitch the rest of the blocks in this project, and then I'll show you how to finish them all up, all right? So I hope you had as much fun today making this amazing train block as I have, and I hope to see you here next time on Jolly Molly TV for more fun and more amazing blocks in this project by Embroidery Library Christmas Express Train Scene. And until I see you in the next video, take care and happy stitching. Bye-bye.